have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to just keep our composure.
Welcome to an episode of Modern Bok. Thank you for joining me. So, England have made history, taking out the All Blacks. The first loss for the All Blacks in the World Cup since 2007. It's just history moment after history moment. Eddie Jones continues his streak of just being unstoppable. So credit to him, credit to England. What an amazing game. Probably putting in the best performance in a World Cup I've seen in a long time. Just credit. To the All Black fans, I know this is upsetting. I know that it's annoying. But you have to admit the better team won today. New Zealand did try, but everything that New Zealand's action-pack had, every move, every skill, even the last 5 minutes, the moment New Zealand always conquer, England had an answer for. And that's the way this game went. So as much as I feel sorry for All Black fans, you've got to understand that this is definitely just showcasing the quality of that English side and how much they planned for this game, they built to this game, and they had everything ready for this game. Outstanding. Very well done to them. So let's get into it. So the game actually starts with already a contentious move from Eddie Jones. You know he likes to get under his people's skin with an outstanding moment where he decides he gets the players to stand in a V shape to face the haka. And you can already see some of the All Blacks like, what's going on? Nigel Owens is like, guys, and all the English fans, the English players, and that's how the game went on. They just stood there and they're like, no. If they want to do the haka, we're doing our own version. So I just give them, as much as I'm sure many All Black fans are annoyed, I give credit to the English for upsetting them. The whole point of the haka is to upset the opposing team, and every team has the opportunity to do the same against them. So if you don't like it, unfortunately, yeah, the haka gets to be done, you can fight against it. So yeah, but the game started like that, and it just made the tension in the room when I was watching it so much more. And obviously then, England fire with a try within 2 minutes. Wow, what a try. Tuolangi goes over in the just next to a ruck. Just literally just great move to get there. Patience, and then seeing the gap between the poles and the ruck. Really, really good. Johnny May then also has a great break a few minutes later where Scott Barrett, a surprise selection actually for this game, runs him down impressively from Scott Barrett's side. I mean, Johnny May has got pace to burn, and he just couldn't get away from Scott Barrett. So credit to him there. I think you could already see some shaky moves from a few minutes later when both Beauden Barrett and Sevilla go and do some odd, Aaron Smith does some odd kicks in the actual attacking thing, doing up and unders right into a 22 that didn't go anywhere, didn't give any much use, and that was definitely that started noticing that it was just not comfortable. Overall, then the rest of the half is tense. Some penalties. There was a little bit of a couple of moments, but the second half is also just tense moments. Lost ball on attack, a couple of missed opportunities. We have the England really starting to build on their lineouts, bothering both on attacking lineouts for England and New Zealand right on their 5 meter, and later on just continuing to do amazing things there. And I mean, to understand how fast-paced this game was and how good the handling from both teams were. The first scrum only happens at 18 minutes. What an amazing game. What an amazing game. It was a little bit of a shaky scrum. I mean, it took like 2.5 minutes to actually get anywhere because both teams were pushing and just couldn't get anywhere. In the end, England do get it away. But then New Zealand do get into a bit of attacking momentum. At about 20 minutes, Mwanga does a pretty damn well-placed kick into the side, but Johnny May is there to read it and pushes him out immediately. Very well done to Johnny May. Just definitely showing that they understand the kicking game plan that New Zealand used very well against South Africa and reading it. And that was pretty much the way that this game was. It was a case of they read the attacking plan moment for moment. Some of the penalties, Ford got some penalties over. It was very good. And I have to admit, Ford's kicks in this game, a lot of people were questioning that should he be selected. And I argue that definitely. His kicks were pinpoint. Every moment was pinpoint. He had a lot of great, even some centre field kicks, clearance kicks, up and unders, really quality ones. Ben Youngs himself also just continuing to be very impressive. Then there's the denied try. Just there, another denied try, which just ceased to bother at about 30 minutes. Just continuing to scramble and shake the New Zealand attack, but to be fair, wasn't a try. It's fair. But yeah, just as I said, it shook them a little. You can see it. It shook them a little. So yeah, the obstruction was clear, definitely not a try. But what an amazing move, and definitely showing the intent from the English. To be fair, at this point in the game, England have been all over the ball. They've really, really been quality. The half ends with it being 10-0, and the stats are quite interesting. But I think most importantly, quality from New Zealand, that even with the ball being attacked all over, keeping that scoreline down to 10-0, in my opinion, is impressive. Any other team in the world would have been like 25-0. So that's, I think, just showcases the quality of that New Zealand defence, that scramble defence, understanding the space. And yeah, definitely, England just couldn't get something together, especially in their last 22. But here, there's some of the stats after the first half. We have territory England 69% to 31, possession 62 to 38. In the last 10 minutes, just to show that New Zealand definitely were coming back into it, it was 56-44. Definitely, the last 20 minutes of the game, especially, New Zealand definitely started to fight and actually give something back. It was just too little, too late. But interestingly enough, even with that much less possession, New Zealand still have more meters carried, showcasing the quality of their ball runners. Some great breaks, especially from Reece and Bowden Barrett as normal. Just definitely cutting apart some parts of the defence. But England read it so well that their cover defence and using the touchline to quality effect. They did not allow the player around them. It was always a case of, fine, see if you can miss the touchline's tackle. So credit to England for, even with the amount of running meters, still holding them back. Tackles, it's pretty even here. Well, many more to New Zealand for sure, but 59-87, definitely showcasing that New Zealand have to do a lot more ball tackling. But England, the main thing here is that New Zealand were doing a lot of tackles on the back foot. They were definitely getting forward. Their front pack hammering. Itoje was just insane. Sinclair, wow, just continuing to hammer that line. But there was definitely, and with that even said, New Zealand's quality showcasing again here, with 16 tackles missed by England, with less tackles made, and in New Zealand only missing 13 tackles. That just showcases how the quality of the New Zealand defence just got better and better throughout the game, and really was outstanding. And I think it highlights again for English sides that they had every plan in this. They understood that this defence was going to be this damn good, but still were able to get through and utilize the few missed tackles they were going to get. And yeah, unfortunately, some missed opportunities, but overall very good. Turnovers were, I think, the turning point for England. That was something I can see they definitely focused on. They brought to the party hard. But every ruck, they were over it, trying to compete, getting 8 to the 3 from New Zealand, showcasing that that's where they wanted to just bother New Zealand. Slow down their attack, speed up their own, and just, yeah, it was outstanding. The breakdowns were, I think, a decider in this game. And we all thought it was going to be, but the dominance that England showed was just outstanding. Yeah, score at halftime, as I said, 10-0. At this point in the game, it's still anybody's game. England definitely dominating, but yeah, you can't you can't dominate against New Zealand. 10-0, any team would be happy with that, but to be fair, they should be quite a bit more ahead here. But with that halftime score, I thought New Zealand could definitely come back into this. They showcased that they can score 2 tries in 3 minutes. They definitely can. And it was looking like it, but then obviously a long-range attempt from Eden Daly, going a little bit to the left, stopping the English from extending their lead. But a few minutes later, try by England gets disallowed again. From a in-the-mall knock-on. Whew, I can't believe they caught that. Credit to the officiates for calling that. Very well done. I understand. As an English fan, I'm sure you would have been rather frustrated, but them's the rules. I just hope that kind of quality of officiating and that kind of sharp eye looking just has to be applied throughout the game. That's the only thing I asked for. But it was very correct call. Great try though. Sad for Youngs that he couldn't get it. And that's how, yeah. And then for the try, the game goes a little bit dormant for a bit. Some penalties here and there. Outstanding kicking from forward, as we expected. Farrell having another great game. Just being such a bother to Goodhue and them. Really good. But I think the standout player, and this is man of the match says it too, standout player is Itoje. Wow, the lineouts were just a pain for New Zealand. except for the one coming up. I can't understand that. So after an amazing run on the outside, Severis gets there, gets taken out. Some people question whether it was a shoulder charge or not. It's a tough one. I think it wasn't, because he was leaning forward into it, but a tight call nonetheless. Them's the refs, that's what the refs decided. That's what it is. New Zealand anyway get the line out. England actually get the line out here. Optimal striking opportunity, effectively on the 5 meter. And out of nowhere, the first time they do a bad line out, on their 5 meter, throws over Itoje, gets caught, RWC goes through for a try. And I mean, credit to RWC and New Zealand. That's the kind of tries they love. They just can strike at any moment. And here it's a case of, whew, but England showed why they deserved to win this game in the next 10 minutes. Because it was just a case of hammer back, almost scoring a try, going for a penalty, again kicked well, and just continuing to dominate at that place, kicking another penalty, and then leaving New Zealand, that's the only score they get in this game. I think it was just a case of, at every point you thought that there was momentum swinging, somehow England just could bother them with the breakdown, attack them, and with such pinpoint tackles on the attack, it was just outstanding to see. As soon as that ball left that ruck, they knew exactly who it was going to and smashed them. So many knock-ons from first receiver. It was something you never see from New Zealand. And England, credit to England. Jordie Barrett also got caught nicely in this 22 and get pushed back. Just, yeah, the pinpoint accuracy of hitting the players who had the ball, not giving them a chance to actually go anywhere, was just outstanding. Then there's obviously Sam Whitelock obviously started also getting frustrated at this point. He was continuing, he already got a penalty against him, goes and pushes Owen Farrell in the face, gets another penalty, turns the decision, and at this point I'm starting to think England have got this in the bag. New Zealand just looked frazzled, and I've always felt that if you can get New Zealand looking frazzled at about 65 minutes and they cannot get back into their game plan, you've got the game. And that's exactly what England did. They calculated this game down to the minute, and you win a semi-final like that. So credit. We get to the finals with last points being made by England with the 69th minute, 19-7, with another kick, just cementing it. Willi Hines also comes on, and some subs coming on, and then they continue that pressure. In the last 5 minutes, New Zealand then start to fire everything that they can at them. But still, that wall holds strong. I have never seen a New Zealand pop game where they moved that far back after it. I mean, they started on the 40 meter of England, ended that pop moment on pretty much their 22, drop it again, and then end the game. It was just fantastic to see from the English how they just calculated that New Zealand game. And something New Zealand needs to now look at, like, have teams started to figure out? I know a lot of people are questioning it, and that Ireland game last week was, no, nobody has. And then this happens. How quickly a World Cup can turn. And obviously this means the first loss for New Zealand since 2007. Eddie Jones does it again. He's already been frustrating to England many years ago in World Cups. He goes and does it to South Africa, does it again here, and continues to just showcase the ability to read a team that nobody else seems to have. Russie or Gatland have got their hands full for this final. Hands full. Both Wales and South Africa are looking at this game and going, well, maybe not yet. They'll look at it tomorrow after the game, but what a performance from the English. Overall, the stats for the game are as follows. New Zealand definitely in the end of the game start pushing a lot more. The possession evens out at the game, similar to the last 10 minutes of the first half, and that's how the game pretty much stayed. Territory, though, still heavily in English side. They kicked them to their half for so long with outstanding pinpoint kicks from forward, and I understand completely why he was chosen for the team. Meters run, though, New Zealand still top this number with 620 versus 390. And that's just an example of, it doesn't matter how many meters you run, if they're not over the try line, it doesn't count. So credit to them. It was the same amount of runs. New Zealand just got so many more from them, but I feel it was a lot of the time because they were running for a lot deeper. Their defensive patterns just didn't work with their alterations of their 4-2-2 and 1-3-3-1 patterns just did not work for them as they changed in different areas of the game. It changed too fast, the packs couldn't keep up, and it fell apart. And that's exactly what they were planning. Passes, both teams had similar amount of passes, 170 and 186. But I think the key stat here is, to be fair, both teams lost some lineouts, but I think New Zealand were just frustrated at the lineout. They couldn't get good set piece going with Otoje and everybody just being there. Laws also just being so annoying to that New Zealand lineout that they could not get any more. Tackling percentage, again, most of the game was New Zealand almost had a 90% tackle success with 82 for England. And yeah, it's the tackles that count that matter, I guess. But again, this is the kind of game where New Zealand unfortunately do start to suffer. If they can't cross the line, you kick them to death. South Africa's done it for many years. England again showcased it, and to their credit, did it very well with a world-class defensive performance. But yeah, I am quite shocked. I am quite shocked. Congrats to the English. I'm sorry, New Zealand. At some point, the streak's got to end, and ended now. Good luck to the fourth playoffs. And England, we got to look now. They look forward. They will be partying. The swing low, sweet chariot just rang through that stadium, and it will be for the rest of the week, I'm sure. But I'm sure Eddie Jones will now go sit down and take on whoever he's taking on the final, and it will be a performance. A performance. Any team that want to take on this English side will have their work cut out for them. They are outstanding. From the quality in the backline, Johnny May, Farrell, Ford, Tuolangi. Wow, Tuolangi. Then you've got your front row and your locks. Amazing performance. And they just continue to be great throughout the game. Never letting up. But yeah, that's kind of my analysis of the game. Please let me know what you think. What do you feel? What was the downfall for New Zealand? I felt that they were just a little bit too frustrated. They couldn't get the breakdown ball going. They were struck on the first receiver. Phases just didn't go to hand, and often they were catching the ball and never really crossing the gain line when they could. And I mean, in my opinion, I mean, there were some moments of attack, but the first time they actually ever truly attacked in this game was in the 56th minute, showcasing how much that defense smothered them. They couldn't place the kicks as well as they did against South Africa, with Johnny May and Elliot Daly and everybody reading it outstandingly. Also Watson, wow. So yeah, they just smothered me in there. Congrats, England. You deserve the win. Many All Black fans probably don't think so, but you do. If South Africa wins tomorrow, I look forward to facing a team of that quality. Congrats. Cheers, guys.